Hey everybody, co-owner Om Gandhi here, and I want to welcome everybody to the Fireside Chats audio edition. Before we dive into the episode, I want to give a shout out to our brand partners at Blue 70. Whether you're looking for that new wetsuit or a transition bag or a new pair of goggles, Blue 70 is one of the best in the business. Now, if you listen carefully, we have an exclusive discount code here just for our viewers. Now listen carefully. Are you listening? Head on over to blue70.com and use code RTB20 for 20% off your first purchase. That's RTB20. We here at Run Try Bike are all for the swim, so head on over to blue70.com. And now, on to the show.
One, two, three, four.
And we're in the process of getting Mechella, excuse me, I pronounced it incorrectly, and Erika on here now, and we'll start chatting with them about Race Chingona and what that is. And there's Erika there right now. Hi, Erika. Good to see you again.
Hello, hello.
We're waiting for Mechella to join, and there she is. She'll be spinning her camera.
Here we go.
All this technical stuff, I tell you.
I know. Oh my goodness. Well, now y'all know what my TV looks like.
If you want, I'll edit it out of the video when we post it to our website and our YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for joining me on our Tuesday evening fireside chats. Really appreciate you taking the time. The folks that are at home watching this probably don't know, but the three of us had a conversation about a year and a half ago when we had first come on the scene as a business, and we helped you guys with last year's event and this year's event with Race Chingona. So really thrilled to have you guys on. Mechella, help us and help the audience understand what a Chingona is. What is Race Chingona? What does Chingona mean?
So the word Chingona used to mean something a little bit derogatory. In the male sense, Chingon meant somebody who was like a super badass, very macho, machismo. Like he was the best at anything that he put his mind to. On the inverse, what Chingona meant was not necessarily that she was a badass, but more of she was like a bitch. Like some parts of Texas, San Antonio, Mexico, United States, like the differentiation between the translation kind of varies a little bit here and there. But really, the past few years here in Texas and San Antonio, we've really kind of embraced that term of saying, yes, I am a badass. And yes, I can do anything.
That's right. Yes, you can. So Erika, help us understand how Race Chingona, now we understand what the word means. How did this event come about? How did you two get together and decide that you were going to put on an event in San Antonio?
Yeah, so Mechella and I know each other through the cycling community here in San Antonio. And Mechella sent information to me and my boyfriend at the time about a triathlon happening in Austin. And so we got excited and we're like, you know what, we can do this. We started training. I'm not the best swimmer, but you know what, we did it. Well, at the event, it was Mechella, myself, and my boyfriend. And what we noticed is that there weren't a lot of people that looked like us. Like we didn't have the $5,000 bikes. You know, we didn't have the really nice kits. We were just what we call the everyday athlete. And so we were in the car driving away from the triathlon, and somehow Mechella and I started talking, and I don't know which one of us said we should just have an event and open it for, make it really inexpensive. Like we don't have to make money, just cover our costs, and then we can get more people on bikes. And then from the people on bikes, it kind of translated into, you know what, let's get more women on bikes. And then I want to say within like 2 months, we had an LLC. It took us forever to come up with a name. So that was interesting as well. Like we couldn't figure out what name we both liked. And then somehow, I think I was hanging out with Mechella at her place, and I don't know which one of us said Chingona, like, okay, well, yeah, why not? Let's do Chingona. Like, sure. And so then it was the Tour De Las Chingonas, and then it kind of just evolved from there. And then a funny story about the name is when we went to the bank to open up the account, we said we're Chingona Race Productions. The lady almost turned bright red because she was having to type out Chingona on official paperwork. So that was a really interesting story. She even said, I'm going to go home and tell my mom that's, I think, 70 something, that I had to write Chingona all day today. So that's where Mechella touched upon, like, there was always that negative connotation when it came to the female Chingona. But if you were a Chingon, you were all powerful.
Well, I'm glad you guys have embraced it because one, it's a fantastic story, and two, it's true, right? You women are badasses, like,
Yeah.
period, end of story. No need to provide any additional information beyond that. And what you guys are doing is phenomenal. Mechella, give the audience some information or all of the information that they need to know about the event coming up this year. Where can they register? What the date is, distances that you guys offer, things along those lines.
Yep. So everything is on our website, tourdelaschingonas.com. We have all of the routes posted. We have the link to sign up. It is 10, 20, 40, 65-mile routes. It's not super hilly at all. It's November 19th out of Texas A&M San Antonio on the south side. What we try to do too is we try to give love to the south side and to the other sides of San Antonio where it's not so much prevalent to go have events, I guess. Most of the time when you have cycling events and stuff, it's on the north side or way out in Bernie and stuff. So we like to give love to our small businesses.
So,
And our new university, yeah.
Erika, why so many options in terms of distance, 10, 20, 40, 65 miles? You're adding different distances, which requires different logistics and can be difficult. And did you guys launch with that many distances to begin with?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we said for the everyday athlete, one thing that is really intimidating is for you to sign up for a 40-mile or a 65-mile. So we said, hey, if we want to get more women on bikes, let's drop the mileage and give them options that they're still challenging themselves and they don't have that option in other organized events. So that's why we decided, yes, it's going to be more work for us. And yes, there's more logistics to think about, but we wanted to add the 10 and the 20-mile option because it just makes it, I think, more accessible to people that say, hey, I started riding my bike. I think I can go 10 miles, so I'm going to go ahead and sign up for 10 miles. And what we do is we're able to give them the option if they want to change their mileage the day of. Like, we don't have a problem with that. We color code everything because Mechella and I are a little bit OCD. So we color code everything. And so we just ask, like, if you're going to change it, just let us know. So when we see you on the road, we're not thinking, oh, you took a wrong turn or something happened. So that was really important for us to make sure that all the everyday athlete could sign up and do a 10-mile if they wanted, or if they felt like they could train and they can do a 40-mile, perfect, or the 20-mile. So that was really important for us as well.
That's awesome. And I love that you keep referring back to the everyday athlete because that's who we are, right? We have responsibilities, family, work, just about everything, running a business, putting on races, and we all don't have the opportunity to train 4, 5, 6 hours a day. And so I love the idea of the everyday athlete. For those of you that are just joining us, my name is Jason Bahamundi. I am the founder and one of the co-owners of Run Try Bike Magazine. Thank you for joining us on our fireside chats on Tuesday evenings. We are talking to the Race Chingona race directors, Erika and Mechella, about their event that's coming up on November 19th in San Antonio. I did see that our boy Kevin from Better Butter is on this. And so for those of you who will be riding any one of those distances and you need chamois cream, check out their product. It's important. Don't ignore it. So, Mechella, Erika referred to the everyday athlete and distance-wise, 10, 20, 40, 65 miles to get people engaged. On your site, it says we invite everybody, LGBTQIA+. And you live in Texas, so it's no secret that's not always embraced. So help the audience understand why it's so important for you to come out and say, no, everybody is invited into our event.
Yes, it's so important to invite everyone in sport. If we don't invite trans people, if we don't invite non-binary people in sport, and especially into women's sports, then they're forced to either forego actually going into sport because there's no space for them, or go into male sports. And that can be very intimidating, completely, entirely. So we want to be a welcoming and inclusive space.
So for you, when do non-binary and trans athletes, when they register, do they say thank you? Do they let you know that what you're doing is important?
Yes, we had someone last year come from New York, and unfortunately they drove to Texas A&M in College Station, and they called us like 8 o'clock in the morning. They were like, well, I'm here, but I don't see anything. And I was like, where are you coming from? And they were like, well, I'm in College Station. Isn't that where it's at? And we were like, no. And they asked if they could come still and ride. And I was like, sure. If you can make it safely, like, don't be going 90 miles an hour, because College Station's still a drive. Texas is huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're more than welcome to come and race or ride. And they made it. They made it.
That's awesome. So last week we had the pleasure of being able to talk to Rach McBride about the importance of inclusion, with her being a non-binary professional triathlete, and how important that was. And I just interviewed a person down in your neck of the woods, Abby Robbins, who is the founder of Queer Gravel, and they are in Austin, Texas, riding gravel. And like, the conversations were so inspiring. And so on behalf of them, I'm going to say thank you for putting on an event that welcomes everybody, because I do think it's important that be addressed and people do feel welcome in your events and in all events. So do you guys, and Erika, I'll address this to you, do you guys have, I mean, you call it Race Chingona, but then we call it a ride, and I understand, right? It's not necessarily chasing podiums and that kind of stuff. So how do you differentiate between the two, and how do you let the participants know that if you're coming here and it's your first time and it takes you X amount of minutes or hours to do it, how do you convey that message to them that it's Race Chingona, but it's, or Tour De Las Chingonas, but it's an event for you to participate in?
Yeah, so part of our communication that we have to all the riders is we give them that information that there's different start times and that it's not a timed race, because I want to say the first year we did have a lot of questions about it being timed and how are they going to know their time. So we had to address that in social media posts. So we're very particular when we email and give them that race day email to really spell it out, like, hey, this is a ride. Like, our goal is to get more people on bikes. It's not for you to meet the certain time frame. So I think once we did that with our communication and our social media posts, it was I guess, translated well, because we have yet to receive that question this year. So hopefully it's worked. But the other thing too is we made sure to make sure that every distance has a different start time. So you don't get that angst of like, there's 800 people. We had 800 registrants last year. So you don't have that big crowd in the beginning that kind of gives you that anxiety that I need to hurry up and finish this because there's a cutoff time. Because we do have lapses in time before the next group that goes out, I think that also helps.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously relieving anxiety about these events also helps the everyday athlete want to participate more often. So, Mechella, I'll address this to you. Erika just said you had 800 participants last year, which is the third year of your event?
This year is our third year.
This year's your third year. So last year was your second year at 800.
It's good for COVID.
How many did you have?
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I thought I froze for a second.
How many people did you have participating in year one?
We had right under 300, and we were really very excited because we thought, well, between the two of us, and we're starting in June, we've got a November goal day. So between the both of us, we know at least 100 women to ride their bikes. So we can, like, 100 was our goal.
So you beat that by
So
300%.
yes.
And practically went 3 times again in year two.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for year three? We're about a month and a week out.
Year three, we're going for 1,000 for sure. We're going to close it at 1,000. We want to make sure that everybody has an amazing and safe participation day. We want to make sure that it's quality over quantity also. Yeah.
So, Erika, where do we go from here? You get it. I'm gonna say you get to 1,000. Yes. Let's just put it out there. Positive vibes. We're getting to 1,000. So, what happens next year? Are you guys looking to move? And I don't mean move around, but add, I should say. So, you're in San Antonio. Do you look to add an event in Austin or DFW or Houston? What's next after that?
Yeah, so that's a conversation Mechella and I have had that everybody knows that's a scary conversation, right? Like that scaling up. And so we've toyed with the idea of like, well, we could do maybe not another one in Texas, but maybe a neighboring state that would help bring. But then we thought, well, we had people from our neighboring states come to San Antonio. So what if we go a little bit further east and we have it in Florida? And then it's like the Miami race Chingona, or we have the LA race Chingona, or the Chicago. So we have had those conversations, but they make Mechella and I really nervous. So, you know, I think we can do it. It's just going over that hurdle and that mental angst that, okay, we can do this. And then, so this is our passion project. Mechella and I don't make any money off of this event. And we would love to be able to do this as our full-time gig. But we're not there yet. So I think if we were, well, actually, I shouldn't say if, when we expand, we would have to, we would have to look at what we're doing in our normal 9 to 5 and try to figure something out. Yeah. So that's the goal. The goal is to go, you know, make a race Chingona in LA or Chicago or Miami, New York, like just, you know, start going a little further out from the south.
Well,
We're having a tour.
Yeah.
A tour of tours.
I mean, you guys are Chingonas. Of course it's going to happen. Right? I mean, let's be honest here. You don't come up with a name like that if you don't believe in yourself. Let's be honest. So you said, and Mechella, I'll direct this to you, you said that it was after a triathlon that you decided to create this event. Why not start a Chingona triathlon? Why not start a Chingona 5K? Why cycling?
We were really focused into the triathlon at the moment, but both of our passions is cycling, really. I'm a runner foremost, but yeah, I think cycling was a little bit easier for us to digest. Also because there's not a whole lot of places in San Antonio where you can open water swim safely without a whole bunch of gunk and algae and bacteria and things. And other than that, we're pretty much limited to a pool swim, which would be pretty small. But I think cycling kind of gets you going in the terms of doing a triathlon as well, because if you know how to walk, you know how to run.
Yeah.
And if you learn how to ride your bike, then that's 2 out of 3.
Well, I can see how you guys can expand upon this, and maybe one day, especially if you're moving into LA, then you've got the Pacific Ocean. If you go to Miami, you've got the Atlantic Ocean. And next thing you know, you guys are dominating the world, not just in cycling events, but also in triathlon and running events. And I'm here for all of that, by the way. For those of you that are just joining us, my name is Jason Bahamundi. I am the founder and one of the co-owners of Run, Try, Bike. Thank you very much for joining us on our Tuesday fireside chats. If you missed any part of this, it will be up on our website and our YouTube channel. All of our previous conversations are there as well. If you have questions for Erika or Mechella, who we are talking to, who are the race directors for Race Chingona in San Antonio, Texas, on November 19th. Hit the little question mark on the bottom right of your screen and send it in, and I'll make sure we get those answered. Erika, one of the things that we didn't touch on that you guys did discuss and mention that you don't make money at this is how much does it cost to participate in your event?
So we start off registration this year. Well, let me backtrack because I'm trying to remember the math here. We started at $26. So what we wanted to do, well, part of our mission is the everyday athlete. We want them to participate and not be worried about the distance and see if they can actually make that distance, but also the cost. So we wanted to see how much it would cost for insurance, and I'm an Excel spreadsheet freak. So I had everything in Excel trying to figure out how much money we needed to be able to cover, you know, aid stations, permits, all of that. And so we knew from year one that we could do $25 based on that. And then things got a little bit more expensive, as everybody knows, like our rental fee went up significantly. And so we actually only went up by $1, right, Mechella? If I'm mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went
Start
up $1, and that was to cover the spot insurance. So we said, okay, we know we can still cover our costs, even though they're rental, but we know we're going to at least have 200 people sign up. So we kind of did that math, and we opened it up at $26. And then about every 3 months, we went up $5 to $6 increments. And of course, the majority of people signed up right in the beginning, which we love for everybody to sign up at the $26 mark. So it makes it super accessible to everybody. And then the also really cool thing about being here in San Antonio, Mechella, and I know a lot of people in the cycling community because we've been active in the cycling community, but there's also other bike groups that have sponsored other Chingonas to participate in our ride in previous years. So they'll put a Facebook post out and say, hey, who wants to sign up? We will sponsor you. And so we've had numerous registrants like that, where the local cycling groups have sponsored other riders, which is awesome to see every single year.
That is awesome. So for those of you listening, make sure you get your registration in early because they will be capping at 1,000. They're already at 800. And 2, it's the cheapest you're going to get it. And at $26, you'd be hard pressed to find anything cheaper than that. By the way, it would probably even be more expensive to go on a 65-mile ride by yourself if you had to go get your own snacks and drinks. Just, you know, as a person who has cycled that long, I understand that the costs get there. So Mechella, help the audience understand what it is they are required to bring to participate at the event. Since this is the everyday athlete, what do they need to have?
A bike. A bike would be a good start. Any functioning bike. We don't discriminate on bikes. If you want to do it on a mountain bike, go for it. If you want to do it on a trike, or as my friend calls it, the muscle of the machine, go for it. Road bike, cycle, like anything really. As long as it's a capable bike and it can get you from point A to point B, that'll work. Another thing is a water bottle. We are a cupless race. So if you have a portable water bottle or even just one that you purchased, we try to do things as green as we can. So if you can help us not put things in the landfill, that'd be amazing. Bring in your own water bottle. I think just checking in wise, your ID as well, and your helmet. Helmets required by USA Cycling. Let me think. I think that's about it. Like a smile, a good attitude.
Yeah.
Bring on the community.
Exactly. So Erika mentioned the spot insurance. Can you go into a little bit more about that? Because I know you guys posted on Instagram about that today.
Yes, so that's something new for our Chingonas this year. So spot insurance is a temporary, short-term in case of accidental insurance. So in case you have a boo-boo, in case you crash, God forbid, any little thing, the spot insurance will be able to cover that for you. So registrants should receive an email, I believe like the week before or the week of the race, of the tour. And they should find out a little bit more information on how to activate that kind of thing.
Awesome. So folks, go to tourdelaschingonas.com. You'll get all the information you need there. You'll be able to register and get involved in this event, which will be taking place on November 19th on the south side of San Antonio at College, Texas A&M San Antonio, not College Station. Make sure you go to the right spot.
Yes.
Let's not make that mistake again. Erika, you mentioned bordering states people were coming from. Mechella mentioned people coming from New York. Where are participants coming from? All over the country?
So not all over the country, but we did have the furthest was New York. We did have a couple people from Chicago. And then we had this year, I think I saw there's actually some ladies coming from Laredo in Mexico, not Nuevo Laredo. So that's exciting. So it definitely is concentrated in Texas, but we do have that sprinkling. We even had somebody from Louisiana, I think the first year or the second year, now I don't remember. But so it hasn't really been big concentrations outside of the state, but that's our hope. And we did run ads in different states, so I'm hoping that pays off. We will see.
So in terms of repeat participants, do you see that occurs often? And if so, are they going from 10 miles in year 1 to 20 miles in year 2, and now they're up to 40 miles? Like, do you see them progressing all along the way as well? Erika, I'll address that to you again.
So I don't know if I've noticed that level of detail if they go in different mileage, but we definitely have a lot of comments on social media that say, this is my third year, I'm so excited. Somebody messaged a couple weeks ago and they wanted to know where the first year jersey was and how they could find the first year. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, well, we only have the ones for this year, but we actually didn't have jerseys the first year. So she was worried she didn't have the jersey from every year, which we didn't know about our jersey manufacturer until last year because of you, which thank you for making that connection with us. So, or for us. And so, yeah, so we know we have repeaters. I just don't have that level of detail. I'm going to say, I'm sure there are some ladies out there that started off with the 10 milers and now they're up, to more mileage.
That's awesome. Mechella, the new jersey for this year looks awesome. How do you come up with the idea? How do you and Erika come up with the idea for the design, and how do you make that happen? Like, where's the inspiration come from?
I think it's mostly Andrea. Like, we give her ideas, we have a chat with her, and she is amazing graphic designer, designs all of it, prints it all in-house. She takes care of all the shipping and everything for us. Yeah, she took our small little ideas and our color coordinations, and she just ran with it. And what she came up with was absolutely amazing.
And so you guys are offering jerseys for sale. That's not part of the registration, correct?
Correct. It's separate.
And so are there other items that they can get? And if not, have there been discussions about getting other items, bib, shorts, socks, that kind of stuff?
We've talked about cycling caps before. I don't think that was in the budget this year, but hopefully next year that'll be something that we can work on.
That'd be cool. I know, like, it's interesting, right? Like, we think about just what do you wear when you go cycling, right? Mm-hmm. Cycling bibs, shorts, and socks. And most people forget about the cycling cap, and it's pretty cool. Like, when you get to the coffee shop, your hair is
true.
I don't have hair, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. But for ladies, if you have long hair, your hair is the shell. A cycling cap is cool.
Yes, and the cool thing, let me add, Andrea actually designed a really cool cycling cap for us for another event that Mechella and I are in the works. So hopefully that comes to fruition. That design is just like blew us out of the water. It's amazing, and I anytime I can, I'll like show people like, look what she did. Like, it's so cool.
So there are no year 1 jerseys. Can people still order year 2 jerseys, or is that out?
That's out.
So another reason, folks, why you need to register and get your gear. They sell out. They don't have, stuff sitting around in inventory. So make sure you register. Again, go to tourdelaschingonas.com. Register for this amazing event. It is all inclusive, non-binary, trans athletes. You are welcome in this event. And you will be treated like everybody else. You are welcome to participate, so please do so. It'll be on November 19th in San Antonio, starting at Texas A&M, San Antonio, and there are 10, 20, 40, and 65-mile distances. Mechella, are there sag wagons in case people have flats or they run into any issues while they're riding?
Yes, we have amazing friends through our cycling community, and they are more than happy to help you out. We have a Chingona helpline, so you call us, we message them, and they can come pick you up.
You have to, I'm laughing because I'm just envisioning the bat phone, right? From I am. The symbol goes out, bat phone, you bring them in. And so sag wagons are there to bring people back if they have any issues. Erika, talk to us about what's on course for them in terms of aid stations.
So we have 8 stations every 10 miles or so. And so some of them are like 10-ish because there wasn't a perfectly safe spot for us to have people, move off the road. So we have about 6 aid stations that we have set up. And then of course, depending on your distance, you'll only get one because you're doing a 10 mile. So we have that one actually at the 5-mile mark. So then if they do need that break, they could come back and have a short little break there. And then at the aid stations this year, I don't know how we came up with this partnership, but Pickle Pops messaged Mechella and I, maybe it was you, I don't remember, Jason, but they messaged us and they said, hey, we would love to offer you guys Pickle Pops. And we said, sure. And they actually got delivered today. So I have 4 boxes of Pickle Pops in front of me that one of them leaked. And I was like, oh, this is a great opportunity for me to try one. And I didn't, but I will. So that's really exciting. So yeah, we'll have everything at the aid station they need. The other thing we want to make sure, because we are a predominantly women only ride, we also make sure that at their aid station, if you need a tampon, a pad, like we have those supplies as well, that a lot of times in other events you end up starting and you kind of have an accident, so we want to make sure we also address that, and that is also available at all of our aid stations.
That's awesome. So this is going to be our last question before we jump into some fun, quick, rapid response. Mechella, I'll address this to you. So how can I participate in your event? How can men participate in your event?
Absolutely. We would love you to be as volunteers. We need people at aid stations, set up, breakdown, SAG. We have motorcycle crew as well. Just anything and anything helping us coordinate all of it. All the volunteers.
So guys, you are not going to be able to ride your bike at this event, but that does not mean that you cannot support these 2 awesome ladies in their endeavor. Volunteer for SAG, volunteer for an aid station. I'm sure you guys probably have an opportunity for us men to help with tires and pumping up tires and things before the event. So bring tire pumps down there, guys, and just be supportive and get more and more people riding, because that's really what it is at the end of the day, is we need to get more and more people involved in endurance sports, and this is one event via cycling that we can do that.
Hey everyone, Cohen or Om Gandhi here. Now before we jump into the rapid fire, I have to give a shout out to our brand partners at Topo Athletic for making this and a digital magazine possible. Now whether you're on the road or the trail or running or hiking, I guarantee Topo has got a shoe for you. So I've personally been looking for a good recovery shoe, and Topo's Revives are some of the coziest ones you can wear. So if you're trying to keep your feet cozy, whether you're on the couch sitting with your running buddy or after a race, try the Revives because they'll definitely revive you. You can check them out at topoathletic.com. And now, on to the rapid fire.
We can do that. Thank you both very much for, 1, your partnership with Run Try Bike from the beginning, and 2, for joining us in this conversation. We're going to get into some fun questions now, and we'll go bounce back and forth. And we call them rapid fire questions, but take your time to think. It's okay. This is not hard-hitting journalism by any stretch of the imagination. So, Mechella, when it comes to pizza, are you putting pineapple on your pizza or not?
Some days I do. I do.
Erika, are you putting pineapple on your pizza?
I do, but I lean more towards jalapenos over pineapple.
All right, so we can kind of be friends.
Yes.
do a pepperoni pineapple jalapeno.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
What, why don't people
That's
just eat plain sliced
that
pizza?
is my boyfriend's creation, and it is amazing. And I don't eat a lot of jalapenos, but like the juiciness that it slides off into my piece, it's great.
Eric, I'll start with you. If you're going to eat pizza, are you eating New York style, Chicago style, or Detroit style?
so I just had Detroit style maybe like a month and a half ago, and I absolutely loved it. So I think I'm gonna go Detroit style, and I may be controversial, but I was game for it. Like I think I ate probably like 4 slices, and then I think we had one left, and we ate it later. And my husband and I were fighting for it, but yeah, definitely I think Detroit style. It was really good.
Mechella, how about you?
I don't know what Detroit style means, and I've never had Chicago, so I guess New York.
For anybody who is a Chicago fan style pizza, I apologize that I'm going to say this, but it is literally tomato soup in a bowl. Okay?
Oh no.
Like, it's not pizza.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Detroit style pizza is a square pizza, but it has, they melt the cheese up the sides, so it's got cheese up the sides, and it's cut into squares. And I would say, like, as a New Yorker, I mean, New York dominates, but if I'm going to eat Detroit style, I don't mind it. Like, I don't hate it as much as I hate Chicago pizza. Let's put it that way. So Halloween's coming up. Mechella, is candy corn a real candy, or is it literally traffic cones shaped like, earwax shaped like traffic cones?
I love candy corn and the little pumpkins.
What?
The little pumpkin ones too. Those are my favorite.
The
I have to have at
pumpkin
least like a small handful every year.
I did not know that, Mechella. I don't have to rethink this partnership.
I don't know. It's just not good.
No,
It's not good.
no. It's like a
Kevin,
can.
you're wrong.
Yeah.
Kevin's
It's
wrong.
so, it's because it's so bad, it's good. It's a nostalgic thing.
Did you see that they were inventing bacon flavored candy corn?
Ooh,
That's terrible.
yeah.
Don't do that. That's a no.
Erika, what about Peeps? Are Peeps a good candy or no?
So I have a confession. I don't think I've ever tried one.
Don't. You're good.
Yeah, it doesn't look like something I would.
Mechella?
It tastes like styrofoam. Absolutely.
Forget it. No.
I think you guys are our 27th or 28th conversation we've had here. And I heard more people say yes to this question. Like, they loved Peeps. But get this. They were like, but you have to let them get stale. And I'm not
Ew.
like to chew rock.
They're already stale.
That's how they were delivered.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
That doesn't sound like you should eat it if it's stale, and that's when it's better. Like, it doesn't sound appealing.
Not
But
at
I
all.
also like licorice, and I know that is some people black licorice. I
Black
should say.
licorice.
Yes, my husband hates it, but I will go to Sprouts and buy myself a little bundle of black licorice, and that's my nobody. I only met one person that likes black licorice.
I don't know if you consume alcohol, but if you do, does that make you then a Sambuca fan as well?
I don't think I've had Sambuca, but
Oh.
I'm trying to think of that other drink from New Orleans that has that same type of absinthe. So I like absinthe as well.
Yeah.
So, Mechella, Oreo cookies, are you the crusty part or are you the creamy part?
I am all of it with peanut butter.
Wait, what?
Like you add peanut butter?
Yeah, you have like your little dish of peanut butter and you scoop it in peanut butter and you eat it. It's delicious.
Oh my goodness, I just learned something.
Extra protein.
Erika, what about you?
I like to dunk and then I open and then I lick. So I like all of it, but I will say I think I like when the crust gets soggy in the milk. So maybe I'm more of the crusty kind of the outer layer person.
I think you two are the most complicated Oreo eaters I've ever. Like, just take it out of the package and put it in your mouth. That's it.
Yeah.
It's the perfect snack. Like, I shake my fist at the clouds all the time when I walk in the store, and there's like 700 varieties of Oreos. Like, I
Oh,
don't need
yeah.
red velvet or the peanut butter or the double stuff or the thin. The Oreo is perfect as it was. Leave it as is.
Yes.
Speaking of red velvet, Erika, is red velvet a real flavor, or is it just chocolate cake with red dye?
Okay, so it's just chocolate cake with red dye, but when I heard that, my mind was blown. I'm like, what? Why have I been lying to me my entire life about this? And I was so devastated. I was so devastated by that. And that was only a couple of years ago. I'm like, how have I been an adult and not known this? Unfortunately.
It's because of the red food dye. They make you think that it's something different, but it's just chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. They're selling gazillion dollars worth of this stuff, and I'm like, it's literally chocolate cake, people.
Yes. Yes.
So you guys are in San Antonio, Texas. Are we burrito fans or are we taco fans? Michelle, I'll ask you first.
We're all tacos. If you call that thing a burrito, it better be like twice the size. Those are two different things.
Erika, what about you?
Absolutely. Like the burrito is not even an option. Like it's just tacos. Yes, absolutely. It has to be a taco.
So now, and I'm adamant. Clearly, I'm adamant about my food choices. Are crispy shells a thing, or are we just kidding ourselves here?
They are. So
Why?
growing up, my mom would make the crispy shells with the corn tortilla, but she would fry it. And then when I got to school, I realized, oh, there are these yellow things. And I guess this is kind of the same thing my mom makes at home, but they're yellow. So as you know, as I was growing up, I realized, oh, there's like two different kind of crispy tacos, like the one your mom fries at home and the one you buy at the store that's already in that shape that you need. You know, my mom's there with a spatula trying to get the right shape for that crispy tortilla. So yes, it's a thing.
Michelle, are you using soft tortillas or are you using crunchy tortillas?
Soft, but I do have a family recipe that has the crispy, crunchy tortilla. It's the corn tortilla with hamburger meat, and then you fry it. It's like super bad for you, right? So you fry it and then you drain it. After it's cooked, you stuff it with lettuce and tomatoes and cheese, and it's delicious.
Man, I can't wait to have dinner after this. So, I'm a huge carrot cake fan, and I don't know if you guys are, but if you are you putting raisins in your carrot cake? Michelle, I'll go to you first.
No, why would you do that?
Because it's sweet.
It's our betrayal. Raisins belong in your granola.
What about
Or your oatmeal raisin cookie, but but not in carrot cake. I don't think I've had carrot cake with raisins in it.
Yeah. So I have, mostly because my grandmother, do you guys know what pasteles are?
The
Yeah.
little pastelitos?
Yeah. So my grandmother would make pasteles with raisins in them. And that's how I just came to love raisins, because they've added a little bit of sweetness to it. Now my grandmother had to make, like, speaking of varieties, she had to make like 400 varieties of pasteles because some of them wanted olives, others wanted pork, others wanted raisins. It was like a big mess.
Yep.
So now let's get to a little bit more on the intellectual side and away from the food side. So Erika, favorite book?
Oh, wow. So favorite book. I really, man, that's really hard. So I really like Kite Runner, but I don't know if that one stands out to me, because when I read it, I was so upset. Like it had every emotion. So whenever somebody asks, like, what's a book you really enjoy reading, was that. But what I'm reading right now that I'm really, really enjoying is, oh God, Fish Don't Exist. I think Fish Don't Exist, and then it's like a love story. And that book is starting to creep up as one of my faves. But I think I would have to say Kite Runner for, yeah, I think that's the one I would say right now.
Awesome. Michelle, to you?
The book that really got me into reading as a young adult was The Things They Carried. It was a fictional book. I don't even remember who the author was, but it was a fictional book about Vietnam. And the way that it was written, it was just really beautiful, and I really got into reading after that.
Awesome.
Before that, I thought I didn't like to read.
I'm currently reading the Moscow Rules, which is about CIA operatives and spies during the Cold War. It's fascinating.
Huh.
And if you're into that kind of stuff, and I'm only on like the third or fourth chapter, it's beyond mind blowing what these people have done to put themselves on the line to try to penetrate Moscow and Russia and the KGB and that stuff. If you're a movie fan, great. If you're not a movie fan and you're a TV fan, great. But when it comes to video entertainment, what's your favorite? Is it and if it's a movie, what movie? And if it's a TV show, what TV show? Mechella, we'll start with you.
I don't get a whole lot of time to sit down and watch stuff, but I think one of my favorite go-to TV shows is like Bob's Burgers, or I'll rewatch King of the Hill just because like that's nostalgic for me. It's just silly.
Erika, what about?
So, my favorite show of all time is The Office. Like, I can watch that over and over and over again. And I'm not that person to watch things over and over again. But The Office is one that and when I watch it, like, I laugh just as much as I did that first time. So I would say The Office, yeah, is my go-to.
I love movies and TV shows, and it always makes people laugh when I tell them that my favorite movie of all time is Casablanca. And I get that I'm not 90 years old, and it's probably like not a thing that people should have. But when I tell them a story, they understand. When I was in college, you're drinking, and I woke up hungover as all get out, and the local college TV station had Casablanca on a loop. So while I was laying there recovering, drinking Gatorade, I just watched the movie over and over again, and now it's my favorite of all time.
So it was more like conditioning, really. Like,
Yeah,
it was almost like a torture. That's why.
It's a great movie. Like, if people sat down and watched it, it is really, 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 for a movie that was made so long ago, it's fantastic. And the thing that people always misrepresent about it is he never says play it again, Sam. Right? That's the thing that people think happens, but he never says it throughout the entire movie.
He doesn't say that at all.
He never says it in the entire movie. I don't know where it came from, but it's the quote that people associate that movie with. All right, last one. So I know you guys are cyclists, and you're going to get the Race Chingona is a cycling event. But Erika, when you're running, are you listening to music, a podcast, or nothing at all?
So I've done both, but lately when I have gone for a run, it's been a podcast. And of course, it has to be some sort of crime junkie, or some nerdy NPR, like This American Life, like that. Always, I forget that I'm running when I'm listening to This American Life because they do such a great job of storytelling. Yeah. And then I realized like I'm going really slow because I'm really like paying attention, which is fine. At least I got out.
Mechella, for you?
For me, it depends what day of the week it is. If it's during the week, depends on my workout. If I'm doing a fast interval workout, it's fast upbeat songs. If it's just a regular junk miles, then it's a podcast or audiobook. On the weekends, if it's a super long run, I'm usually with my friends, so we're just no need for any other entertainment. We're entertaining each other.
And you're thrilled if you have one because you're running in zone 1, zone 2, which means you're able to have a conversation, so it's ideal. If you're listening to podcasts, there's one about Native Americans in this country. I think it's called Our Land, if I'm not mistaken, and it goes through like the Supreme Court decisions all throughout U.S. history. It's fascinating, and obviously there's been a lot of Supreme Court decisions that have come down recently, and so they've extended it. So I would recommend listening to that. Thank you both for joining us. For those that are watching us, go to tourdelaschingonas.com. The event takes place on November 19th, which is a month and 8 days away from today. And it is a ride for women, including non-binary and trans athletes. You are welcome to race. You have 10, 20, 40, and 65-mile options. You have aid stations. You have an option for insurance. And it is inexpensive to do. You can purchase a jersey if you so choose. It is a cupless race, so bring your water bottle, bring your bike, fat bike, gravel bike, triathlon bike, road bike, beach cruiser.
Yeah.
Bring it, go out there and enjoy it. And guys, if you're watching this, show up and help out and volunteer at the aid stations and the sag wagons and pump some tires up while you're there too. Erika, Mechella, thank you so much for joining me on this conversation. Appreciate your time. I look forward to hearing how the event turns out and where you guys go into the future, because I'm here for it.
Thank you. And I want to take this time also to thank you so much. From day one when we were introduced to you, when Mechella reached out and we communicated in email, I really appreciate how open and supportive you were of our crazy ideas and our endeavors. So I really appreciate the support. Definitely members of the cycling community, but just being the everyday athlete like you, supporting us in our endeavor. We really appreciate it, and we're humbled by your support.
Thank you. And I
so much.
not support some chingonas like you guys.
Yes.
Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, Cohen or Om Gandhi here one last time, and I just wanted to thank everybody for listening to the second episode of the audio edition of the Fireside Chats. Be sure to join us next time, and happy holidays. Have a great evening.